Hello, I'm Barry Vanover and welcome to this edition of Black Belt Business. Today we're in the pro shop of one of our premier martial arts studios because I want to talk to you about some quick tips to increase your studio's merchandising and equipment sales. Very first thing I want to talk about is equipment packages. These are packages of equipment that we put together that goes along with the sale of each one of our different martial arts programs. For example, at our studios, we have a basic training program, a black belt training program, and a premier training program, as well as a fitness program. And we've got equipment packages put together with the equipment that particular program requires for the students. Now, by packaging this together, it allows us to sell all the equipment the student's going to need for each individual program all at one time. So, you know, if you look, a long time ago, we used to put the actual equipment up on the pro shop on the walls. Now, what happens then is we'd have to dust it and keep it clean, and maybe we ran out of an item and someone took an item off the wall and sold it, so the equipment package isn't complete. So what we've done now is we've just made beautiful posters for different sizes, for different size of pro shops, for all the equipment packages. So you can see we have a basic equipment packages for youth, adult black belt basic equipment package, our black belt training equipment package, and premier training equipment package. Now these equipment package posters come in different sizes. This particular premier martial arts studio we're in has a very large common area, so we blew the posters up really, really large. But if you have one of our other studios just down the street is only 1,200 square feet, and we have one little glass case when you first walk in, and we made the posters only about 2 feet by 3 feet of the 3 different equipment packages. So it allows us to have a nice little area in whatever size school you have to sell the equipment packages. Now, things you need to realize when it comes to selling equipment packages and just equipment in martial arts schools in general is the actual equipment sales enhances the experience that your student has. I mean, think about this. Every activity, whether it's baseball, football, rollerblading, you know, wakeboarding, every activity has equipment and merchandise that goes along with it. Martial arts should be no different. So when you sell a basic program or a black belt training program, by offering the equipment packages and selling the packages actually enhances the experience the student has. It combats what's called buyer's remorse. I mean, imagine, we will get students that come into our studios every week and they will be given a choice between basic training program and black belt training program. And a good percentage every week goes straight to black belt training from the 2-lesson trial program. That means they've either committed to 3 years of training that cost them about $5,000, or they've paid in full that 3 years of training and spent about $4,500. But yet if we didn't sell them an equipment package, which is only $329, they walk out of the school, they've made this big purchase, they've spent this money, and what do they have? Just the uniform in their hands. By them buying the equipment, it increases the overall experience. And actually, it helps with retention, we believe, because they have all the gear, they can't wait to use the gear, and they know when that next weapon's coming up, they've got the weapon in hand, they have everything they need. So remember, people are the most excited when they first sign up. And that's whether it's for a basic program or when they first upgrade, that's when we should take advantage of their excitement and go ahead and offer the equipment package. I used to tell my instructors, hey, let's have a goal for 75% of all new members and upgrade memberships to sell the equipment packages. Well, it wasn't very long that we changed the goal to 100% of the people because it was just so easy and everyone purchases and buys the equipment package. The next thing is that, remember, is that people are going to spend their money. So, you know, we actually have martial arts students from other schools drop into our pro shops and buy gear. So why their studio isn't providing the gear for them, I'm not sure. It's good for us, but, you know, we should have the gear in stock not only for our own students, but in case people are coming in off the street and purchasing the gear. People want gear and people want to spend their money. They're going to spend it somewhere, whether it's at the mall or they're going to spend it, however. Just don't let them go somewhere else to buy their merchandising. Sell it inside their own schools. So that would be equipment packages. Whatever your curriculum demands are, that's how you form your equipment packages. If you teach kickboxing, the kids are going to need boxing gloves. If you're teaching, you're teaching certain weapons, the weapons are part of the equipment package. And it should be, by the way, the equipment package sales should be part of the enrollment procedures. When you've done your 2-lesson trial program, when your program director has signed them up, done all the paperwork, we simply look at them, we show them an equipment package either on our PowerPoint presentation or on the posters like this we would have in the office, or maybe a flyer that we've handed to them, and we simply say, one more thing, Ms. Johnson. Now, this is our black belt training equipment package. This is all the equipment that Billy's going to need to be successful in our program. Normally, the equipment package costs $299, but if you buy it today, you could get the equipment package for only $279, or whatever your price points are. Now, another tip to increase merchandise sales in your studio are impulse items. Impulse items are just having a small glass case somewhere that you put different items in that the students can purchase anytime. Now, if you have a referral programs like martial arts dollars, or the kids can save up tickets to get certain items, this adds excitement to the students inside the school. Another thing we found is every time report cards come out in our community, we notice a little spike in our impulse items because mom and dad are rewarding their child for getting good grades. So they're buying them those extra little things inside the martial arts studio. Another great tip to increase your merchandise sales is t-shirts. Now, what we do, the first thing about t-shirts is you should offer different types of t-shirts periodically. We come out with a new t-shirt line of 2 or 3 new shirts about every 3 or 4 months. We let our students know that these are specialty shirts and they may never see these t-shirt designs again. So if they like them, they should purchase them. So here's an example of just a quick t-shirt that we did for springtime. Lighter colors. It's got our logo running down the side of the shirt, and a chest print here. It's like a little camouflage design made out of martial arts figures. And this sold extremely well in the springtime. Another tip for t-shirts is offer an alternate uniform top. Most of us wear a traditional martial arts uniform in our classes for our students. But offering a t-shirt that's part of the uniform is a great idea. Now, the key thing here is to allow them to wear the alternate uniform top. So maybe they can wear the alternate uniform tops on Fridays and Saturdays, but they have to wear their crossover. At my schools, we let them wear their alternate uniform tops all the time. They just have to wear their crossover top at stripe testing and at graduation. So those are 2 quick ideas to spark your t-shirts. And remember, don't forget, coming up with lots of different designs for the t-shirts as well. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is upselling. Upselling in your pro shop means to just train your staff that when someone buys a uniform, recommend that they get a new set of patches. If someone's buying a bow staff, recommend that they buy your bow staff curriculum video. It's just reminding them of things that they may need while they're in the pro shop. Or training your staff that when they're making one purchase, just ask them, have they seen the new item that we have in stock? What I think a good idea is if you have a pro shop or a front desk person is to give them a bonus, a small percentage on items that's rang up in the pro shop, not equipment package sales, but the other random types of items. And if you have software like we use, then you can actually track that easily in the software and giving them maybe a 2 or 3% of the sales of those items, which would just be a nice bonus and a reminder to do the impulse sales and to make those sales. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about for equipment sales and increasing equipment purchases in your school, this is probably, besides equipment packages, this is probably the most important tip, which is simply require that the merchandise is purchased. Any martial arts merchandise is purchased inside your school. I tell school owners and consulting clients this all the time, and they'll say, well, how do you explain, or what reason are you giving that they have to buy the martial arts gear from your school and not the sporting goods store down the street or another martial arts school or ordering it online? for example. And what we tell them is, listen, parents, our merchandise has all been approved by our insurance company. Now, I'm sure there's other martial arts gear out there that's awesome, but we went to the expense of having our insurance company actually approve each individual piece that we use, and it's approved by our insurance company. So all the gear that we use inside the school is the gear the students have to use. And another thing is, you know, when you have all your gear logoed, like all your uniforms and your t-shirts, and we even have our weapons logoed with the Premier Martial Arts logo and so forth, then the students are going to want to buy the gear there. They're going to want the gear with their school's emblem on it and logo on it. And then just by requiring that they purchase it at your school. Now, another thing is the equipment packages take care of that. You've got them excited. You sold them all the gear they're going to need for actually a 36-month training if they join black belt training. Or if they move up into a higher level training of premier training, they buy all that gear. So we're not giving them a chance to buy it anywhere else, and we're also requiring that they purchase it inside your school. Now, another thing would be to have the, or don't have, is a lost and found box open inside your school somewhere. Having a lost and found box inside your school gives the people a chance to go over and get gear and maybe use it. When they've lost gear or they couldn't find their gear. You know, we tell everybody we have a lost and found box in the back. We empty it out every month. So if you've lost something, go back there and look for it. If it's not there, it's going to be gone, because we empty it out and we throw all lost and gear stuff away every single month. Another tip is don't provide gear for people to use. I'll go into martial arts schools, and I guess kids leave their staff and quit. The school will have 5 or 6 extra bow staffs and some extra nunchucks over here for the students to use, or extra boxing gloves. You know, don't have extra gear laying around. Require that every student has their own gear. I mean, if students are going through drill lines and they're hitting the heavy bags, if they forgot their gloves or they've lost their gloves, we don't let them hit the heavy bags. They actually have to go through and act like they're punching at the heavy bag, because for safety reasons. You know, so don't provide gear. If a student upgrades to a higher level training program but they didn't buy the equipment package, every time and you happen to be teaching bow staff as the black belt training equipment, we're not going to say, oh yeah, you can have one of this bow staffs and you can use this until you buy one. Well, they never will buy one, right? So we keep all that extra gear out of the classroom, and that student has to just simply stand and watch that particular part of the class or sit down in locked up position until his parents purchases the piece of equipment that they need. You know, merchandising can be a great added revenue stream inside of every martial arts school, and it should be. But we have to use some common sense tips, common sense things to increase the merchandise sales. And I hope that you've gotten some good tips from this today in this week's edition. And tune in next week for more black belt business, and I'll talk to you then. Thank you so much.